Welcome to Force 13 Live, a special emergency breaking news. A magnitude 7 earthquake occurring off the coast of Northern California this afternoon. The earthquake time was approximately, this morning still I should say, this morning the earthquake occurred at 10:44 a.m. and aftershocks are currently occurring. A tsunami warning is in effect for large parts of the Northern California coast, including in San Francisco. As you can see, the earthquake occurred off the part of California that juts out up north there near Eureka. And I think the USGS had the location down as, I forget what the location they put down was.
Ferndale.
Ferndale. And it was around 99 kilometers away from that town, which is approximately 62 miles. My name is Nathan Foy, here with our team right now. We've got a few people talking about this live. I'm going to try and keep you on top of this information as much as possible. As you can see, this is from our earthquake feed. We do, if you were unaware, we have an earthquake channel as well. You can find that at Force 13 EQ. That runs this earthquake feed 24/7. As you can see on there, magnitude 7.0 is being reported by USGS and EMSC. It's quite a shallow earthquake as well, one of the main reasons why we decided to run a live event on our main channel, because it is a potentially very important earthquake, considering how shallow it is, only about 9 miles deep. And I'm sure people who know earthquakes know that earthquakes that are that shallow tend to have a high risk of tsunami. Now I've got before I talk to the team a little more, I've got the text from the tsunami warning here, and it is in effect for California and Oregon actually, from Davenport, which is located 10 miles northwest of Santa Cruz, to Douglas Lane County line in Oregon, which is located 10 miles southwest of Florence. If you're located in this coastal area, move inland to higher ground immediately. Tsunami warnings mean that a tsunami with significant inundation is possible or is already occurring. Tsunamis are a series of waves dangerous many hours after the initial arrival time. The first wave may not be the largest. As a matter of fact, the National Weather Service reporting here that the earthquake was preliminary 7.3, although I believe they revised it down to 7.0, 45 miles southwest of Eureka. Now, timings, 11:10 a.m., so that was about 10 minutes ago for Fort Bragg, 11:20, which is right now for Crescent City. Also 11:20 for Port Orford, Oregon. 11:25, that's any minute now, in Brookings, Oregon. 11:40 a.m. for Charleston, Oregon. And 12:10 p.m. for San Francisco, located in this warning as well. And it will remain in effect until further notice. So we obviously are going to be waiting to hear from any potential impacts. Hopefully not. It's very difficult to predict just how much of a tsunami will occur from an earthquake like this. And we're getting a new notification here from that feed showing another earthquake well inland, actually, not far from Redding. And a small 2.5 there. But there are aftershocks occurring near the earthquake itself, so we are watching that as well. I think the largest one so far has been a magnitude 4.2 is the largest aftershock so far. I'd also like to mention that at 3 minutes after this 7.0 earthquake, another 5.8 occurred much further south near Cobb, California, which is only maybe 70 or 80 miles away from San Francisco Bay. 5.8 earthquake to the south there near Cobb. You can see it marked on that map. So 2 earthquakes, you could say, there in the same event here of a substantial magnitude. Justin, your thoughts on that?
Honestly, well, as most of you all know, this part of California is where the most infamous fault line probably in the world is located, with the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault is very well known to produce big earthquakes like this. Can it happen at any given time? Absolutely. Will it catch you off guard? Also, yes. Thing is, though, with California, earthquakes are so common, they have earthquake alerts there, I'm pretty sure.
We're with Samuel here as well, showing us a view from San Francisco Bayfront. Samuel, anything to note here?
It looks like the earthquake actually occurred somewhere around the Mendocino Fault. Not sure if it's a strike slip fault, but from where I've seen, the epicenter is near where the Cascadia subduction zones and the San Andreas Fault might be located. We can't confirm if it's caused by any of those areas, but there is
I'm sorry for that noise.
Yeah.
This is called a shishi.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we got some noise playing in the background. I'm just trying to get stuff sorted out here. I'm trying to get I've got a view up here now from near Fort Bragg, I think it was called. Very close to where the tsunami is supposedly hitting right now. Here's a live view. This is how things are looking there right now. This supposedly is where the tsunami would have reached a few minutes ago. This is a live look out there right now, out into the Pacific Ocean. You can see some waves crashing. It's hard to get a real idea on, if you haven't been here before, what the usual water level is there, but obviously it's a very rocky part of the coast that we're looking at here, so it might be hard to determine that. But looking out over the water, you can see perhaps a few little broad ripples that may or may not be associated with that kind of tsunami thing, but there's not too much going on that particular view. But this is a live look right now over there. So this is breaking news right now of this magnitude 7, possibly 7.3. That is just
that earthquake that also you aforementioned earlier about the one near Cobb. That earthquake was only 0.6 miles deep.
0.6.
Yeah, both of these earthquakes were very shallow.
Let's see if we can get another viewpoint right now. It's something, again, that we're just trying to scrambled to get hold of right now as well. This viewpoint is a little bit further south, and there's nothing that we can see of it. Just let me sort out that image a little bit more. Here we are. This is another viewpoint, a little bit further south at this one. I think... I can't remember where it is, but I think it's it's at Caspar, which is just south of Fort Bragg. Now, this is another location then that should be experiencing, if there is a tsunami, that should be experiencing right now. This is the viewpoint from Caspar there. So, just to bring everyone on board here, magnitude 7 earthquake occurring just off the coast of California not long ago. It occurred about 60 miles offshore, and it was magnitude 7, and there are tsunami warnings extending as far south as San Francisco and a little bit further than that as well. Let me bring in the rest of the team right now. In fact, I'll just open the floor completely whilst I work on some stuff here, so who would like to go next? I thought there'd be like people clamoring to say something there. Jack, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I have not many other thoughts other than this has completely come out of the blue for me. I was not expecting this at all, obviously, and I'm gobsmacked. I don't know what else to say, really. I do
actually have one thing to say. I do have one thing to say, though.
Show.
The actual earthquake itself occurred along the San Andreas fault line, but 3 of the 4 aftershocks actually occurred in the center of the Juan de Fuca plate, which is a plate that goes from pretty much Ferndale all the way up the Pacific coastline, all the way up towards like Alaska and all that. Wait, no, that's a different fault line. Never mind. It's a plate that's just to the west of it.
let's
You tell I
tune
don't
back
study
into
geology that much.
our earthquake stream right now. This is Force 13's earthquake stream. I've just had to get it onto one of my screen shares instead. So this is what it's showing right now. We'll be checking in with this often. In fact, you can see down there as well some spectrographs on the bottom right from various points in California there too. I'm not sure where they are in relation to this earthquake, but there are a few little things going on there. Certainly detecting various things, but this is the headline. Magnitude 7 earthquake occurred at 40.4 north, 124.8 degrees west, and this occurred at 10:44 a.m. local time in Pacific time, and it's been followed by several aftershocks so far. Let's show you the USGS, and this is everything that's been going on according to them here, and you can see that so far there's been several aftershocks. All those red points there are earthquakes that have occurred in the last hour, and it looks like that's 4.2 there. I'm sure it said 5.8 down in this area, but this is actually showing only 2.6, so I'm not sure what the deal is there. Let's reload the page. Yeah, some massive discrepancy there. USGS is only showing magnitude 2s in that area, but I'm sure... What source was it that I was looking at? Whatever it was said it was 5.8 down there. So that's a...
Oh yeah, I just realized that too. The USGS actually revised that earthquake down to 2.5. What the
Holy
heck?
cow, they've revised that down from 5.8 to 2.5.
How do you mess that up?
I have
What the
no
heck?
idea. There's another one up there near French Gulch, 2.5, and one 3.7 occurring just off the coast, the closest to the coast so far. You can clearly see what line this is all occurring on. So this is the latest regarding this earthquake as we wait for more data to come in. But if you're just joining us, magnitude 7, we've got a tsunami warning for a large area. All along this west coast of California. We felt compelled to run a live event on this because it is important breaking news. It has occurred in the last nearly an hour, 45 minutes ago, and as we've seen tsunami warnings all along the coast. They warn people not to be complacent about those tsunami warnings because the first wave isn't always the biggest. And let's take a look back at this view once again. This is at Fort Bragg, and so that this area onset of tsunami was predicted to be 10 minutes ago. And whilst it doesn't look like your classic massive wave in the middle of nowhere there, I do see quite a bit of rippling going on. I'm tempted to say that that is earthquake related, but I'm not fully familiar with the geography, but certainly looking obviously a place that you need to stay away from. Thankfully this area clearly is quite high ground there with those cliffs going down. If this was a flat piece of coastline, then this might have been a bit of a different story. It's hard to tell if you can see those sort of wide waves there, whether they're there anyway or whether that's actually to do with the tsunami. I am not quite sure, but you can see it pushing on in. I mean, there are some people casually walking about. These aren't the first people I've seen on this little road here, but I think they are reasonably safe up there. So that's live view at Fort Bragg. Samuel's viewpoint there showing us San Francisco, and let's go back to the. Yep.
Nathan, do they have a GIS confirmed tsunami? Like
that, I do not know.
Ah.
Let's go back to our viewpoint here, a little bit further south at Caspar, and I'm trying to figure out exactly the location here. It's probably at the headlands, I think. Yeah, it's right in the middle there. Yeah, I think I can find this place on the map. So, obviously it's a big inlet there. That's Casper Anchorage, and you can see a few vehicles, people checking things out there. Haven't seen too much going on with the waves, but we'll keep an eye on this camera as well. Quite important. We're waiting for anything that we can verify suggesting a a magnitude of a tsunami. That music in the background is just from our earthquake stream. I'll just fade that out a little bit more as we wait for more details. It has been updated. I don't think they've said any... Oh, there's an ad there. Thanks, Sam. This is the... I know they do that often, but this is just the tsunami warning text. They haven't updated anything on this. It's just they just verified or updated the magnitude, which they revised slightly downwards to 7.0.
Yeah, Nathan, we just had another aftershock, by the way.
And the
Magnitude
news...
3. Yep, magnitude 3.1 aftershock, 26 kilometers west of Petrolia, California. This happened 6 minutes ago.
That's the blue one that I've highlighted there, occurring, and it's coming up on the earthquake feed now as well. There it is again, that 3.1. So that is probably the 6th or 7th aftershock now from this earthquake. So again, a developing story as we continue to watch this live. Looking at those cameras, we haven't seen too much going on yet, which is good news. If there is a sizable tsunami, it would occur very quickly, or at least the onset of it would be very quick. But I think we're going to stick with this camera quite a bit because it is very close to where a tsunami would be, and it's quite low-lying as well. Now, I don't think we got any viewpoints from further north because it is pretty much a wilderness up there. You know, the closest point to where the earthquake occurred. Eureka, of course, is just a little bit further north, and they've got a barrier island as well for most of it, so I imagine that they'll be generally all right. Very interested to hear if you're in the area and have been affected by this, what you felt. We've just thrown this live event up very, very quickly, so we're not very well prepared for this at all. Otherwise, we may have actually got, you know, people on the air in the area or whatever. But start your message with 413 all in text to ping us in the chat, and I'll check in on that as much as I can. If you felt the earthquake in any way, because it's not only important to get your story on the air, but it is also important for others who are watching, and it may help us for informational purposes as well. If you did feel the earthquake, what you felt, how bad it was in your area, and just the general conditions where you are. So lots of stuff that we're keeping on top of right now as we continue to watch these cameras in various cycles. Looking out, it's a beautiful day over there, by the way. I'm not too surprised, I suppose. But you can see here, the water certainly looks disturbed. And again, I just don't know how normal or abnormal it looks from here, obviously not knowing the area. But on a large scale, it does look like it's quite ripply out there. So I'm sure that there is some observable tsunami measurement here. Probably not very large, but we know what water is like, and it can be very, very damaging. So, yeah.
Where is this?
This viewpoint is Fort Bragg, which, if a tsunami occurred, which it probably is, began about 20 minutes ago here, Neely.
Oh, Nathan, there is a buoy flashing.
Okay, what does it say?
I'm trying to understand this.
Could you screen share your data?
I can.
Yeah, please.
Share my data.
Station 46411.
This is the one in question.
New earthquake here just over in Nevada, I think. Yep, Nevada there, 2.8. Let's check in with what Jack's display is saying.
Oh, we just had another aftershock. Magnitude 3.1.
Okay. Okay, so that doesn't look too crazy so far.
That's the only one flashing currently.
Why is it flashing?
That's
I have no
probably where the
idea.
earthquake occurred, maybe.
Yeah, why don't you click on one of the ones that right next that one there that you were just hovering over is right next to the earthquake, the close to land.
Exactly. Yeah.
Click
No,
on
the one
view
close to the land. No, north, further north.
details.
Yeah, that one. What's that one saying? Because that is the closest to the earthquake.
It doesn't come up with anything. It's not flashing.
Mm.
It comes up with this.
Yeah. Yeah, not
We
showing that
might
much.
have to wait until it starts flashing, if it does. This is the only one.
But that pattern doesn't look too. I mean, there's not been a big spike there.
If I'm not wrong, that's on Juan de Fuca.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Wonderful.
right in that general area.
Yeah, so that Juan de Fuca is moving, like that plate's moving south, I'm pretty sure, and then Pacific Plate is moving.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
We just had the strongest aftershock of the bunch so far.
Really.
Magnitude 5.2.
Hmm.
161 kilometers southwest of Ferndale.
5.2. We'll
Yep.
get the confirmation
Also-
from that on an earthquake feed
It's
shortly.
also a lot further away from the other ones too. The 8 kilometers
Oh
and
yeah, you're right. Here it is. Look, the newest aftershock there, 5.2, occurring just a few minutes ago, and I'm hovering over that right now. So you can
occurred
draw
3
sort
minutes
of
ago.
like a little line there, where all these earthquakes are, and you're just getting some general other stuff going on in the wider area, sort of like a bit of a chain reaction going on.
Here.
Now, not always, but on some occasions, you know, earthquakes can cause a bit of a chain reaction, and many people, and I think it's verified, that, you know, sometimes these can be delayed by weeks, months, maybe even years. Obviously, I'm not massive on earthquakes, so I don't really know how that ties into everything else, but of course we did also have a magnitude 7.4 earlier this year in Taiwan, which we were watching, obviously on the other side of the ocean. It is all connected. But this magnitude 7, which occurred at just before Q2,
A new earthquake has been detected.
nearly an hour ago now. Here's an update on one of those aftershocks. 4.2,
occurred near Petrolia, California,
and
2
that's
minutes
4
ago.
minutes ago. The automated voice there said 2 minutes ago, but the time says 36, so it's a good 4 or 5 minutes ago now. All these earthquakes are very shallow. As a matter of fact, there's one of them there that says it's minus 0.4 kilometers. That can't be true.
Yeah, because earthquakes can totally occur above ground.
Yeah.
Seems legit.
Oh dear. Well, this is the story right now. We're waiting for any info. From what we're seeing on some of these cameras, though, Fort Bragg area, there's not too much going on these viewpoints. Although we haven't actually seen any buildings really on these cameras, just looking out at the water. Obviously, we didn't see the earthquake when it happened. So I don't know where we might be up to with that. I'll tell you what though, if one of these has delayed playback, we might be able to find out. No, they don't, sadly. They're all full streaming. You can't scroll back. So we've just left with their live views. Again, this is another viewpoint at Fort Bragg, looking out westwards over the Pacific. And again, you can see a fair amount of broad, non-capping waves, which I'm not sure, but it speaks to me that they may be tsunami waves, relatively small.
Jason,
Yeah.
BBC World's running with the earthquake.
Okay.
BBC World News and running with it. The Australian a tsunami warning center. No threat to mainland Australia or any of its territories.
Right. Waiting for further updates regarding the tsunami. Just a reminder of the timings here that they are suggesting. Start times. Fort Bragg 11:10, obviously that's over half an hour ago. Crescent City 11:20. Port Orford 11:20. Brookings, Oregon 11:25. Charleston, Oregon 11:40. San Francisco 12:10. We're going to keep watching San Francisco there, obviously. That's coming up in half an hour. But from what I've seen, I would be surprised if there was anything really significant, but there could be some notable or noticeable wave action. 3.3 just occurring there, another aftershock on our earthquake stream right now. You can tune into that as well. That runs 24/7 on our Force 13 Earthquakes channel. But this is the latest that we have right now. Christian, welcome.
Hello. I was informed about this powerful earthquake in Northern California about a couple of minutes ago, and I see you guys are live.
That's right. Let's see if we've had any pings in the chat here. Rob says that they're in Rohnert Park. Earthquake felt. It was 2 to 3 minutes long. And Saheb says, is this any fault rupture or a rift where there is stress relief because it could happen? I am not actually sure on that one. It's obviously not part of the main San Andreas fault, but you were talking about it just before, Jack, weren't you?
Yes. Wait.
It was on San Andreas is like
It's on
land.
in between. Yeah, it's,
So this
it's
was
in
this was
between
an
the
offshore.
Yeah, it's offshore.
Juan de Fuca plate. Once again, Juan de Fuca plate is moving south and Pacific plate is moving north. So that would have been how that happened.
Yeah.
That's what I knew.
And also, is that 5.2, that aftershock we saw before, part of the earthquake cluster because it occurred west away from the cluster? I would absolutely say that it is.
Yeah.
I would absolutely say that it's
absolutely.
actually disappeared. Where's it gone? Hold on. USGS have. That earthquake's vanished, Justin. What happened? 5.2
USGS is probably bugging out. That's probably what happened.
Maybe, but you can see all of these aftershocks. The red ones occurring in the last hour. The main earthquake itself is now just over an hour old. It was at 10:44 a.m. But you're seeing a few sizable ones: 4.2, 4.2, 3.1, 3.1, 3.8, 3.3, 3.7, 3.3. Of course, the main shock was 7.0.
Nathan, the last 7.0 or bigger earthquake off the coast of California was a magnitude 7.2 in 2005. Ironically enough, right about the same spot this one occurred.
Wow. So there you go.
Yep.
Okay. So that would have been.
I've actually got a really good viewpoint here. I'm just trying to remind myself where this is. Yeah, so this location now is to the south. We get a great view of the waves there. This is at Point Reyes National Seashore, which is to the northwest of San Francisco. If we see a tsunami here, then it will be in about maybe 10 or 15 minutes if we see a tsunami at this location. So keep your eye on this camera. Absolutely.
So we should keep an eye on this camera towards the top of the hour. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, between 11, maybe slightly earlier, but certainly by 11:05, 11:10. we'll be seeing any effects of a tsunami that are occurring. Right now, this is what it looks like normally, so at least we get that view already, so we'll be able to compare that
Nathan.
later. Yep.
A seismic station in Bloomington, Indiana
Yep.
picked up the earthquake.
Well, why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
Let's check back in near Fort Bragg. It is still running. This is, again, the viewpoint here. Still difficult to tell exactly what's going on. But I'm certainly not seeing anything huge. But I'm pretty sure that there are some small tsunami... There's small tsunami action going on here.
Nathan, the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services has activated its earthquake response center, state operations center.
So I'm looking at the location here. This
So it took me way
earthquake
too long to get
happened-
rid of the ad. Yeah, go on.
This happened on the junction of 3 tectonic plates, as far as I'm seeing: Juan de Fuca, Pacific, and American.
Yeah. Once again, this is a view a little bit further south. I'm still seeing that like spit of land over there on the left. It's at Casper. So it suggests to me, that's where the Casper Creek reaches the sea. In fact, it's probably the Doyle Creek as I look at it. That there, I mean, that hasn't changed very much. So I don't think there's much of a tsunami going on here. I mean, I worry about saying things like that too soon in case things change. And obviously, I wouldn't want people to be off their guard, but that's what we're seeing at the minute. I'm not controlling this camera that Samuel's showing, but let's go back to that new earthquake. This is just now 3.4 aftershock here. That's very close to the original main quake here. So that's that automated voice reads it all out there. That was at 0 miles deep as well, so surface earthquake there. And again, the main earthquake very close to the coast of California, around 62 miles offshore, and magnitude 7.0. Originally they said 7.3, and then it was updated to 7.0. It's got our team there right now as well. Would anyone else like to just would like to cut in there?
I want to say, obviously, it bears mentioning, recognizing the signs of a tsunami. Obviously, as it approaches the shoreline, so to speak, the waves will start to recede for quite a bit. When this happens, do not, I repeat, do not go out there and have a look at what's been exposed. What you should do when that happens is run in the opposite direction towards land and get to higher ground as soon as possible.
Okay. Can someone screen share something for me? Because I need to be able to switch between windows, and I'm not configured to get another window up yet. I'm sorry. Even if it's just those boys, Jack, or something.
See what I can find.
Yeah, but this is our earthquake feed that we're looking at right now on our other channel, our Force 13 Earthquakes channel. Jack's going back to look at the buoy network there.
Yep. There we are. This one's still going. Obviously.
Trying to figure out what that's saying. It's hard to read the line, it's so small.
I think that's saying that it changes that much within 15
yeah.
seconds. So that's...
Hard to tell if they've got
Yeah.
a spike there or not. I'm struggling to figure that out.
It's a very slight spike, it looks like. I mean, obviously, if it was still shown in 15 minutes, then that wouldn't be too much different, because, well...
So tsunami warning in effect, including San Francisco. A possible tsunami could arrive there in 10 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, sorry.
A new earthquake
From
has
this
been
camera
detected.
angle, which is at Point Reyes, possibly 10 minutes.
Magnitude 3.1
Let's see if we can
earthquake
get this
has
other
occurred near
earthquake here.
Petrolia,
You can
California,
hear it in the
3
background,
minutes
this
ago.
magnitude 3.1. Trying to dig it up here. So another aftershock there as well. Again, extremely shallow, 0.1 kilometers.
I'm seeing one on my listing here that says minus 0.4
I know,
kilometers.
yeah. That one occurred in the air, apparently.
Hmm. And
Where
there's
is
another one that
deep?
says minus 0.0.
Yeah, but, well, we know these were all very close to the surface. If I just move the camera over, well, it's a bit cut off, but just on the bottom right, you can see some spectrometers there. Fortuna, California, I'm seeing quite a few spikes going on right there, so you can definitely see these aftershock activities occurring in real time. I mean, you're seeing the progression of the spectrometer there, the spectrograph, I'm sorry, every few seconds. I don't know how long that plays back, but certainly not long ago, and even now, there are some small shocks going on there. Orland as well, you can see a little bit of noise there, but certainly on that Fortuna one, we're seeing that.
Nathan, this would be it, right? Wouldn't it? This here.
Oh, you're looking at it properly now. So look at that. Yeah, that is definitely detecting a tsunami.
Yeah.
In the order of, it's very small, I'll tell you that. It's about 10 centimeters.
Not very big one.
About 10 centimeters over there at sea. Now, sometimes they do, the push up a little bit more when they get close to land, obviously with the impact of the land. So 10 at sea is probably going to be a bit more towards land. I would say we could probably expect to see maybe up to a foot from what we've seen so far, but I'm not fully sure, and to keep your guard up on this because this is a developing situation. We've probably had close to 10 aftershocks at this point, maybe more. Most of them of the order maybe magnitude 3. We had a couple magnitude 4 aftershocks, and we've also had a few small quakes inland as well. You can see on this map all those earthquakes occurring relatively recently. All those northern ones have been since the big quake. So that's the latest we have right now. Let's go back to some of these webcams that we've been watching. So the first one, which is the closest to the earthquake itself, is here near Fort Bragg, which is right up the coast there. Not as far up as where the earthquake is. I would say that Fort Bragg is probably maybe 100 miles away, maybe more, from the earthquake itself. Now, the tsunami is currently ongoing. From what we've seen here, a few wide scale ripples pushing up against the coast there. Nothing too crazy, which is welcome news. But like I said, I expect that we could possibly see a foot from what I've seen on these pictures. But as we know, we're getting very close to an actual camera that's on the ground that will be able to see exactly what happens with the water level here. It's also quite an exposed location as well, this camera, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly where this camera is. It is at the Point Reyes lifeboat station. Now, I don't know exactly where that is, but I assume it's near the point itself. And Point Reyes is a very exposed area. Unless it's on the opposite side. It might be on the opposite side, actually, which is quite a bit more insulated, but we'll see what happens here. I think we're going to see something at this viewpoint, and it ought to be, according to the info, maybe in the next 10 minutes. Any news for us, guys?
None at the moment, no.
Local media outlets are now running with it, and the surf patrol is now clearing the beaches. The vehicles are going up and down the beach, warning people.
Yeah, hopefully there's not that many people on the beach. The temperature near the earthquake, I think, is about 55 degrees or something.
I can tell you right now.
So it's hardly
Give me a
beach weather,
moment.
because it is December. Let's get it real here.
Yeah, 55 degrees.
Yeah. Sam?
Right now, yep, this is from National Weather Service, San Francisco Bay Area.
Sam, you're very quiet, by the way.
Just a couple of minutes ago. Can you hear me?
We'll persevere. I've got you faded up here.
Okay. They said it just came out. It said tsunami warning has been canceled for coastal North Bay to Davenport, including inside San Francisco Bay. Tsunami warning has been canceled. Updates: no further tsunami danger exists. However, some areas may continue to experience small sea level changes, as local conditions can cause a wide variation in tsunami wave action. The all-clear determinations must be made by local authorities, and this will be the final statement issued for the local area for this event.
Yep, can
Okay.
confirm. And also, the
So that's good
tsunami
news here,
warning.
everyone. Good news there.
Tsunami warning for the portion of it that was in Oregon was also replaced with a beach hazard statement.
So that's some great news here. The tsunami warning cancelled. I'm not too surprised after what we saw on those cameras. There weren't any real concerning signs that we were looking at there. I gotta tell you, this could have been a lot worse. When you see a magnitude 7 perched right off the coast, initially 7.3. Let's not get that mistaken. And the update to 7.0, it knocks quite a bit of power off that estimate. So it could have been a lot worse. I'm sure people have been reporting a lot of shaking in this area. It is a not massively populated area of Northern California, of course. Big population centers further south. But that is really good news there, that the tsunami warning has been cancelled. And with that news, we won't be staying on for very much longer. We just wanted to bring you the breaking info on this potential emergency that was occurring. But it does look like that it is mostly unwarranted. But certainly the risk was absolutely there. And that's why we decided to go live on this, especially when you saw that the depth was pretty much zero. It was, how deep was it again? It was only about...
Looking for
6
you.
kilometers?
0.6 kilometers.
Oh, they amended it to 0.6. So absolutely,
That's
surface
really
earthquake there. They can cause very the tsunami risk is very high
That's
for
quite a high upset.
for
And then-
earthquakes like that.
Yeah, and then just to say something again, we've got. I can't even speak properly. Another 5.0 aftershock, just slightly to the west of the main earthquake, 8 kilometers deep.
Yeah.
So just getting that out there. That was as of, funny enough, 20:02 UTC. So basically 2 seconds after top of the hour.
Yeah.
They are two. That both of them are two different oceanic plates, though. It would have been much worse if it was one continental plate and one oceanic plate.
Thing is, though, the main earthquake itself, Jack, occurred on the boundary between all three.
All three. I thought it was just.
Yeah, I'll send you a screenshot if you don't.
Hey David,
Yes,
you still there? You logged into the earthquakes channel right now?
yes, I am.
I'm going to need you to go into settings there and see if you can find redirect privileges, because we're going to finish up here soon, and then we'll redirect our viewers to our earthquakes feed so that people can find more information and a 24-hour tracker over there. But right now we're still watching all of these earthquakes, and another one you can hear in the background, but that one's in France, so I don't think we need to talk about that one very much. 2.0 if anyone's interested in the French Alps. But right now we're looking on Christian's viewpoint here, and USGS looking at all of those earthquakes, aftershocks right now, and that 5.0, unless that gets revised downwards, that is now the largest aftershock so far. Did you manage to find that, David?
Now you want me to copy one of the links?
No, it's somewhere in your YouTube settings. Been messing about on this for a while now. Hold on, let me see if I can find it in my other tab.
Yeah, I'm in studio. I'm just trying to find
That's
the.
alright, we'll sort it. So, anything else that you guys can see right now?
I posted the thing in chat. I've posted the link to the live stream.
Sorry, another
on
one's just
the
popped up
yeah.
on my feed.
earthquake channel.
Uh-huh.
Another one's just popped up onto my feed as well. 3.9, 24.9 kilometers deep, occurring to the northeast of the main cluster.
Uh-huh.
Next, we have
Closer
the
to
thing on the main channel. We have the severe weather up there in the
Oh, wow.
what is it?
Well,
Michigan.
that's a whole other story, isn't it?
Yep, and the southern hemisphere is starting to fire up with the cyclone season, so things are really.
Yeah. So if you've just joined us, this is what happened. A magnitude 7 earthquake occurred off the coast of California. It could have been bigger for sure.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yes, it could have been worse.
Yeah. It could have been a lot worse. Again, 4.8 just occurred, 8 kilometers deep.
Yeah. So all of these, once again, very shallow earthquakes here.
Just want to see if they've double revert. Nope, it still says 0.6. That's the great big 7 here. So very shallow. Obviously, the latest one to occur, 4.8, around about here.
Oh, another one there.
Yeah, so we have the 5.0, which is here, 3.9, which is on the other side, and then 4.8 down here as well. So this is all that's just popped up within the last 5 minutes of my honest. Oh, updated again, but nothing really. Yep, okay.
So again, this is looking at point rares.
Sorry, this one here, it's just been revised to 4.5 from 4.8.
Most revisions do trend down, for those who are wondering. That's why you're hearing so many revisions that have gone down, because normally that does happen.
A magnitude 3.9
Another
earthquake.
earthquake.
They have to get a preliminary one out first, and then do the revising.
There's another one, 3.9, that has just occurred off the coast. These are pretty substantial earthquakes.
Longitude
3. I'm picking up the 3.9. That was the one that occurred 21 seconds after 8 o'clock on the UTC clock.
Yeah.
I'm not. Obviously, the time zone here is what, -8. So.
To UTC, yeah.
Yeah.
Midday.
All right, we've finally got that redirect sorted now. I think we've pretty much gone through our usefulness on this event. We did cover the tsunami warning, but they did cancel that tsunami warning in the end, so we've just got general beach hazards, obviously to stay away from the beach. But thankfully a substantial or strong tsunami hasn't really come to fruition. We're not expecting then any major threat to life or property unless you're actually on the beach, which is not a good idea. Get away from the beach, don't go in the water. I don't think anyone Well, actually, no, there are people mad enough to go in the water in those temperatures. I certainly wouldn't. But large magnitude 7 earthquake is the information here with several aftershocks, and if anything else happens, we'll obviously stay on top of that as well. But now we are going to break away. This stream will redirect to our earthquakes feed, which has 24/7 updates on all earthquakes around the world. Any final messages from our team?
Nope.
No, not from me.
That original 5.8 down
Yep.
to 4.5 is now down to 4.3.
Oh, wow.
Apparently
Man.
occurred at minus 0.1 kilometers.
Yeah, of course it was.
Of course it did.
Oh,
But yeah, obviously the largest aftershock so far is this 5.01 well out to the west here.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave you with that. All those earthquakes can be traced on our earthquakes feed, and we're going to go over there now. Thanks for watching. Hope things haven't been too bad. I'm sure many people felt this earthquake, but it does seem as though the immediate threat of tsunami is over. And we'll see you again soon on Force 13 for cyclone updates and whatever else we decide to do.